I'm late. I'm late for a very important date. No time to ask if I'm fine. Give me the taglines.
Didn't rhyme with date at all.
No. I'm spent on this movie.
I'm late. I don't give a damn.
As we learn in this movie, time doesn't matter.
Off with my head. I don't care.
Kill me.
Kill me. You eat me, drink me, kill me.
Please.
I do have two.
Okay.
This spring, it's time for a little madness.
Okay.
Okay? It's time for a little madness.
That's the same shit.
Yep.
We're stuck in a time loop.
Yeah.
Well, there's a third one.
No.
It's time.
For time.
For a little madness.
A little madness is what it's time for.
My wife.
With a budget of $170 million, an opening weekend USA gross of $28.1 million, and a total USA gross of $77 million.
Oof.
Cumulative worldwide gross, though, of $299.4 million.
Those Chinese ate this shit up.
Yeah, they did. With cannonball explosions, talking dogs, talking mice, talking rabbits, vegetable gremlin people, time travel devices, humanoid frogs, a 6.2 on IMDb, a 34 Metacritic score, and a 29% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's 2017's Alice Through the Looking Glass. Let's drop some bombs.
I don't want you here. Get out.
No place to go.
I don't care about that.
This house is for a family. You know what I mean? A family, home sweet home, all that.
Hey, it's all nice, eh? Why is that you wait from them back?
Go get him!
Hello up there, you omnipotent super beings from some other dimensional planet! Hit it!
Welcome to Bonzo with the only podcast recorded inside a projection booth. My name is Jonathan Young. Joining me inside the studio, as always, is...
Mad as a hatter. Tyler Rowe.
Mad as hell.
Fucking pissed as a hatter.
Yes. I don't want to do this movie.
No. This is, I feel like I say it almost every episode, but this was probably one of the worst that I've had to watch, purely from a, like, it just was joyless.
It's a modern, we've discussed this many times on the show. It's a modern day disaster.
Yeah.
And not disaster movie, just modern day disaster. In which, when I say that, it's a bad movie in modern day, and almost 100% of the time, unless it's done intentionally, that movie is horrendous and unfun to watch.
Yeah. And this was horrendous and unfun to watch.
Yes. So, would you recommend it?
Thanks you for joining us on Bombs Away.
What if?
Just a movie so bad we just didn't do the episode.
People were like, damn, that was a solid episode. That was the best one yet.
We didn't have to listen to Jonathan ramble.
That's right. Just saying ums and ends and basically all the time.
Oh my god. Yeah, this was a rough one. It's sad to see a few talented people do so poorly with what's given to them.
I couldn't agree more. But before we do go into it, I have to make a couple announcements.
Uh-oh.
Okay? So, first off, if you're listening to this week that it's out, join us this Friday, 7 o'clock, at the Frida Cinema for The Running Man. 1987's Arnold Schwarzenegger action masterpiece. I'd call it that.
Okay.
I love this movie. Okay? I'm going to, like, you were like, oh, I love Plan 9. I'm going to be like, The Running Man all day, every day.
Okay, all right.
I could do that, too. It's got a great soundtrack. Alan Silvestri's back.
Oh, my God.
No, he's actually not.
It's just Back to the Future shit
He just
again.
does everything. Yeah. You got to come back with me to the future. Doc, normally I would think that this is heavy, but nothing's heavy for me.
Do you see that video of him get drop kicked in the back at
Hell
the thing
yeah.
he was doing?
Because it phased him none.
Yeah, he was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I read on his Twitter being like, all right, if you have to share a video of it, share the one where he's not shouting anything and getting attention. He like blanked out the audio.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And he's like, and instead of share that, why not share for the thing that I was there for? All these amazing athletes.
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty much saying don't give them the time of day.
I love you, Arnie.
Yeah, there's probably going to be some drop kick jokes this Friday.
Yes. But yeah, join us Friday, 7 o'clock. We'll be joined by our neighbors and friends, the Grind Bin podcast.
Absolutely. You can follow them on all podcast apps right now. Just search for Grind Bin Podcast, and they'll come up. We guested on an episode of theirs, which is Don't Open Till Christmas, and they guested on here on the episode this past Christmas that just happened, Santa's Sleigh. So that's how you can get a little taste of them. But if you want just a full-on taste of them, you'll have to ask them. So that's good.
All right.
So that's our announcements for that. Also, don't forget that if you're listening to this, stay tuned this Thursday because our second part of our 3-part staff picks is coming out. Avengers Game Part 1.
Oh, yeah. I'm stoked.
So we're taking the first half of Endgame and we're talking about it. And then the next week, we will come out with the final episode.
Hell yeah.
And it's so good. It's so much fun. I was re-listening just for my own joy at the Avengers pregame.
Oh, yeah.
Which turned out to be a game.
Yes, it was so much fun.
Yeah. So if you haven't checked out Avengers pregame, that's also available right now. If you are looking at your feed, it'll be the episode that came out right before this one.
Yep.
So check that out as well. So, you ready?
I guess.
Yeah, I'd rather talk about announcements all day.
I know. So this movie opens Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah,
Dead
this is
Man's
like
Chest.
Unused footage from Pirates 5.
Yeah, and they used all the footage from that, sadly. So,
yes, it's 1874. Some ship and some group of people that we'll never see again.
Supposedly the Chinese.
Is it?
Yeah, because she was in China, and the ships are Chinese in nature. So,
what did she do to deserve the chasing?
I was gonna say she threw up on the prime minister, but that was Japan. I don't know. It's not really explained. I don't know. I don't think. Like I was telling Jonathan before we started recording, I paid 85% attention to this film, and at the end of it, it felt like I paid like 15.
Well, she started a trade war. That's what happened.
And the stock market's plummeted.
She was like, "We gotta get out of here. We're being chased by China."
Bing, 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 bong, bong, bong.
Bing, bing, bong, bong. Get on the ship. Go, go.
Yeah. So they're being chased by some other ships. Some pirate bullshit happens, and they
Yeah, something about basically she's being chased, and then she wants to do like a 90-degree turn in the boat, and they're like. In order to do that, she has to unfurl all the sails, and they'll like tip on their side, kind of, and they're like, "It's impossible."
They'll boat drift, basically. That's what they do.
Yeah, not so fast or furious.
Yeah,
Tokyo drift.
Yeah,
China
drift. China Sea drift. No, yeah,
China Sea drift.
But they're coming up on a bunch of rocks, and they're trying to make it through between the two rocks. And like, listen. It's such a cliche at this point of every single form of medium in film, regardless of the like whatever it is, that like you're gonna go through a space that's only wide enough for one ship and everything else is gonna crash.
Yeah.
Like we've seen it in Star Wars, we've seen it in everything. It's like, all right, get a cooler trick. And also, why is there rocks just jutting out in the middle of the ocean?
That happens all the time, right?
Yeah.
In movies.
I've never seen the ocean before personally.
Well, because every single time that there is like a pirate movie or something like that, it is nonstop. Like, we have to be as close to the shore and rocky cliffs as possible.
For some reason, to add some, like, because being out in the middle of the ocean where there's nothing with you within, like, your area for, like, 200 square miles is, like, boring as shit.
Yeah. Unless it's Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, dude, Black Flag.
Yeah,
shit.
Good stuff.
Yeah, so then they, big surprise, elude their people chasing them.
Why I'm still on it is because there's a line that will come back.
Oh, yeah.
Where they're like, you can't do that. That's impossible. And she's like, nothing's impossible. And you're like, shut the hell up.
She says,
I saw the first movie.
She
Shut
says
up.
nothing is impossible. Things are just impossible.
I don't think she says that, but the cat says that later.
Oh, that's from the first one. Yeah, things are just impossible. But that's what
right?
she's
Where I'm like,
alluding to.
Fuck you pretentious piece of shit.
Guy's just standing there. He's like, go fuck yourself. You know what I meant.
Fuck you Hot Topic bitch. Oh wait, that's more Anne Hathaway in this movie?
No, it's still her. She's a Hot Topic. Like, this whole movie breathes Hot Topic.
Yeah, because they sold all the merch.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that we've finally gotten out of the Johnny Depp Mad Hatter years of Halloween, but we're still stuck in the goddamn Heath Ledger Joker Batman years, and they'll never go away.
Because the next one to do it, people were like, I'm not doing that.
I saw some for Halloween.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I was Harley Quinn for Halloween that year.
There's a bunch of dudes trying to fuck you.
Yeah.
Bunch of dudes in snakeskin purple leather.
Jesus God Christ.
Being like, look at my tattoos on my hand. Make me look like I'm laughing.
And then Will Smith was like, I'm not doing the next one. And then James Gunn got attached and he was like, fuck. And then they replaced him with goddamn Idris Elba and he's like, God damn it. Woo! I guess I'm going to have to do Aladdin.
That's real. Looper.
Black
Blooper. Black Looper.
Yeah, so they elude their captors. They make it to the other side of the rocks. Also, these boats run ashore on these rocks, and, like, nothing happens. They just stop. Like, you're expecting some spectacular, like, and it's literally just like, like they drove up on the curb.
Hey, ho, ho, ho. Okay, we're good.
Damn, they got away. Anyway, we got to get off these rocks.
Bing, bing, bong.
And she's like, all right, set course for London.
Yep. So they go to London, and when they get there, her mother has, since she's been gone, signed the deed to her house over and still isn't paying the mortgage.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And because of that, the deed also includes the rights to the Wonder, which is Alice's father's boat.
Yes, he's dead, by the way.
Yes. And so they're like, look, we're either going to repossess the house or we're going to repossess the Wonder. Like, your choice. And she immediately does that, like, heroine trope, or not, mostly heroine, not as much hero that goes this, but they go, you can't do that. That was my father's.
Yeah.
Right? And you're like, by law it can, and like, who gives a fuck if it like has sentimental value to you? Like,
yeah, the bank doesn't care.
Yeah.
I'd prefer them to start doing like meth tropes in their movies as opposed to heroin tropes. Yeah, that's so funny, as if like I want someone to make a movie that's ultra realistic where someone's like, but that's my father's boat, I don't give a fuck, and they sell it in front of them.
That's how Mary Poppins Return should have been.
Oh yeah. You are late, sorry, house is mine.
I just wanted that movie to go down where they're like, we're repossessing the house. You can't do this, this was my father's house. Yeah, but you fucking work for the bank.
You didn't pay it, asshole.
How could you not pay your own job? We know you make money.
God, that'd be like the alternate ending that they initially did for Dodgeball, where the other Jim wins, where Globo Jim.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in if you go back,
instead of the underdog.
My sister loved that movie so much. Where right at that scene where Vince Vaughn gets hit with the dodgeball. And then I'm
going to admit something to you.
You never seen it?
Never seen it.
Okay, at the end of the movie, the average Joes are playing Globo Gym. He throws the dodgeball, and it hits Vince Vaughn, and he was the last person, and they're out. But the ref says his foot crossed the line. That's a foul. We have to go to sudden death.
Sure.
In the original ending of the film,
that's it.
he just got hit and the movie ends. And they
Love
just
it.
don't win. So that'd be cool if they just did some shit like that.
Yeah.
And then it would have ended this movie.
I just want in real life, like, you can't do that. It's my father. Cut to like they're like packing a car and they're living out of it.
Yeah. That's the real Wonderland is homelessness.
And they're like, we can't get a job. We can't. Nothing's impossible.
Just
Bye.
impossible. She's selling herself on the streets of London. No, but then she's met with this incredibly handsome blonde guy, but she doesn't love him, so she marries Tom Hiddleston, and he takes her to his house, and he has this weird incestuous relationship with his sister.
Nice.
Thanks. Yeah. Thank you. That movie came out the year prior to this, so it's very odd that it has very similar tones and art
Toro's
style. It's like, at least someone saw it.
Yeah. I wonder if there's a lot of people that are going to see The Maze before they see the movie.
Did you?
Yep. Everybody did. Because The Maze came out while it was
That's
in
right.
theaters.
Yeah.
And people were like, I don't know what this is. Like, it's visually awesome, but I don't know what this is.
That movie kicked ass. I fucking love that movie.
Yeah.
Carly can watch it up until one part, like 20 minutes in, and then she has to close her eyes and then come back. It's when her dad gets his head bashed on the sink.
Shit.
Yeah, she can't handle it.
Okay. Guys,
Alice in Wonderland.
gonna warn you, this is gonna be like this the whole time. Tangent City today. Welcome to Tangent City.
And I'm not saying that this is a problem in the movie. I don't have a problem with it at all. I understand why it's there.
I have a problem with the movie.
I mean, I have a problem with the movie. But if you're gonna shoehorn a sexism storyline into your film, make sure your film is good and make sure it's well written.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of weird stuff where it's just so heavy-handed where he's like, yeah, well, you're a girl.
Yeah. There's a part where like he's around like 5 other like fompish British dudes with like beards and like, you know, like complete tuxes, and they're like, because a female captain.
Yeah, even though there's like a whole crew of people who could show that she actually did like do a good job in that boat.
Yeah.
A female captain.
It didn't sink.
Well, and then so the other thing to drive home is that this guy who's basically like, fuck you, I'm selling your house and your boat, is her not ex-boyfriend, but a guy who was in love with her that she was supposed to marry, and she was like, no, go fuck yourself. And he's like petty.
Sure. That's right. The guy that she was basically at the altar for, right?
Yep.
Yeah. It's all coming back to me, and it's terrifying.
Oh, God.
So,
Tim Burton, please.
So she's all depressed about that, and then Alan Rickman Butterfly shows up.
Oh, God, poor guy.
Yeah,
I think this is his final role.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Because it's just the voice.
Yeah, and
he doesn't show up like he did in the first one as the caterpillar. Like, it's just a butterfly, not even close up, right?
No, from like fucking far away. I don't even think you see the face ever.
Never.
Also, this is the only time you see that butterfly.
Yeah.
It doesn't appear ever again.
Yeah.
It just shows her, hey, welcome to the Dark Crystal. There's a weird mirror in your room that you can go through.
Yep.
So I again, like I said, I paid well enough attention to this film.
It's fine.
No, I'm just saying, but like, I still feel like I missed so much because I was like, wait, why does she have to go through the mirror?
She doesn't. She just followed the butterfly and then noticed that the butterfly went through the mirror, and she's like, oh, all right, let's check this out.
Yeah, and see, what's so interesting for me, and I know Tim Burton, to an incredible fault, always wants to reinvent the wheel to run himself over, basically, of just, like, reinventing a story for whatever reason, and in Alice in Wonderland, because...
Did you watch Dumbo?
No,
Me either.
Carly did.
Yeah.
She said she cried a bunch, though.
Oh,
it wasn't
man.
a good movie. She just cried because they were mean to Dumbo.
That
sounds like her, right? Yeah. No,
Why are they yelling at the elephant?
no, for real. She was like, they're being mean to him, and she cried. No, right before I moved down here, I was directing plays for a middle school, and we did Alice in Wonderland right before I moved here. So one day I showed the class the original one, Alice in Wonderland, the animated movie, and
That's a good movie.
It is, and the whole like lesson of it is like, don't run away from your problems. Like,
Don't
you
take
need,
meth. Don't take acid.
Yeah, he's like, you need to take them head on and don't be a child about like your problems.
Even
and
though
this,
she was a child, but
yes,
yeah.
yes. And then this movie's straight up just like, no, it's okay, just run away from your problems. It's cool. Some weird Wonderland in your mirror has bigger problems that need to be helped. Mad Hatter's a fucking idiot, so
Yeah,
he's gonna hang himself.
He's an idiot, right? And this is Johnny Depp in like where he was like, you know what? I would like to show people how I transition from one character into another. So I'm gonna go from Mad Hatter into Grindelwald directly on screen.
Yeah. So she gets to Wonderland through the mirror.
To Underland.
To Underland,
by
I
the
forgot.
way,
That's
because
what it's
that's fucking stupid.
yeah.
It's the dumbest thing too, where it was just like you were a little girl and you thought it said Wonderland, and you're like, what? Is that in the book? Like, I don't even know or care.
I don't
right?
know.
So she goes through the mirror, and now she's super tiny in that world.
In the world that she was already in, which is like, what?
Yeah.
She drops down, kills fucking Humpty Dumpty.
Just straight up drops off of the fireplace mantle onto the chessboard, runs, like, backs into Humpty Dumpty. He falls off and cracks his skull open.
He's fucking dead. Kill count 1.
Right? And then in such a, you're just like eye-rolling thing as the chess pieces are just like, all my men, all my horses? And you're just like, shut the fuck up,
It's
nursery
like,
rhyme.
Listen, we got the fucking joke, okay? It was Humpty Dumpty, he fell, we get it.
Yeah, literally all they had to do was go down there. It didn't have to be like, all my horses, all my men?
Well,
you know,
okay,
like,
so
go!
see, here's where I fork away from you. I think all my horses, all my men was fine, but then we didn't have to see him put them together. It's either one or the other.
I would have. Here's what should have happened for me is that like all the chess pieces scramble like and run right, and they're like, quick, help him, right, and they scramble right, and then they're like, Alice, I know you. What are you doing here? They have a whole dialogue, and then literally one pawn comes back and be like, sir, we couldn't put him back together. It's way better.
He didn't make it.
Yeah. We failed, sir. We failed hard.
It's like the turtle in the office that Kevin tries to put its shell back together. Yeah.
He's bleeding pretty bad out there. There's yellow all over the place, sir.
This isn't a yoke.
He's scrambled. Yeah, so that happens, and then I forget who she runs into, but
I think it's Alan Rickman Butterfly again.
Oh.
It's like explaining to her, like, hey, you need to go back to Underland. They need your help. Follow them in.
That's right.
Go through this door. Oh, by the way, watch the first step, and then she just falls through the sky.
Yep, falls through the sky, falls to her death.
Yeah, into a flower bed, which saves her.
Yeah. Not before she, like, I don't know, does a choreographed, like, through the air parachute thing with a bunch of birds. I don't know. She's like, she's catching rings like she's in Grand Theft Auto 5, like doing a parachute.
Superman 64.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Also, she's wearing this ridiculous fucking outfit before this, like, in this meeting that she has. It's some weird shit that she, like, got from China.
That outfit, she wears it the whole time, right?
Yeah.
There's not a time when she's not wearing it.
It's weird,
right?
like, tassels and
it's
shit.
It's awful.
It's some, like, Met Gala bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Welcome
to camp? Bitch, the whole world's camp. None of us know what it means either.
The world's weird. Jared Leto, why'd you bring your own fucking head, you weirdo? Go fuck yourself.
Because it's Underland.
So she
I'm
lands...
going to blow myself later.
I thought you were going to say I'm blow my brains out.
No, that's different.
Listen to my band, 30 Seconds to Mars. We were cool like 10 years ago.
It's called camp because it burned down. Deep cuts.
No, yeah. So, she lands there, and all of her friends are around where she lands.
Mm-hmm. All the people from the Tea Party, basically,
yes.
Plus Anne Hathaway.
Yes.
Plus Tweedledee and Tweedledum, who do nothing in this film.
Yeah, they're just
there.
They're Tweedledee and Tweedledum are played by the same guy, but they're played by the weird ass roommate from fucking Bridesmaids.
Oh yeah.
That weird English guy, the bald dude. Mm-hmm. Yeah, terrible. Also, Anne Hathaway, what the fuck? Like, I'm so sorry.
Okay, so I'm looking at Anne Hathaway through this whole movie, and it's just a Hot Topic chick trying to act her way to an Oscar that she'll never get.
But the arm movements, it's
Yeah.
just like, put your hands down for a second.
I don't get it because it's overacting to another extreme.
I don't even get what is happening half the time.
Yeah.
I'm just like, why are you waving your arms around?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's pretty bad.
Pretty awful.
So they basically just come out right out the gate, and Alice is like, "Where's the Hatter?" And they're like, "Oh, he's fucking dying."
Yeah.
And she's like,
Yeah, and basically the explanation of why she's dying, or he's dying, right, is that he saw a hat, right, like a little baby blue hat,
yes,
in the ground one day.
and he had a PTSD flashback to the jungles of Nam.
Yeah, well, basically he had a flashback to the second to last episode of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, where his family was killed by Daenerys.
Right, because there's just a dragon laying waste to this town.
Yeah,
and
the Jabberwocky.
That's how his family died.
Yes.
Right? But he found this blue hat that he assumed was, like, that they had, so if he found that, they must be alive?
No,
That's
he's...
not how it works, but...
Yeah, something like that. He basically is, like, confused as to how it exists because it was thrown in the trash.
Right.
So he's incredibly... They go to his house, and he's laying in bed sick, like incredibly pale.
Just playing another androgynous pasty face person.
Well, it's insane. Did you know that Johnny Depp actually spent over 2 minutes in the makeup chair to get this look down? His makeup's fucking atrocious.
So what's funny is, like, nobody can see our faces, but like as you're giving me this piece of information, I'm like, where is it? Where's the punchline?
You know, here's another thing. Small spoiler to the ending, but when he meets his parents and his parents see him, I wanted his dad to be like, "What the fuck is that shit all over your face?" Because he doesn't look like that as a child.
That's not how I raised you, fag.
Oh no!
Because that. I mean, it's 1875. They're literally like the people in Underworld are just like the British people because they're supposed to mimic them anyway because it's all in Alice's imagination, right?
Yeah, and it is funny because his as you learn when he was
I
a
do
child.
apologize for the word, but like I was going for a joke, and I never know if it works because nobody else is in the room other than the person that 50-50 offended or not.
He as we learn when he was a child, this is later on, but he just wants to make atrocious hats, and his dad is like, "No, what the fuck? We make top hats, you weird little freak.
Next, you're gonna want to be a cobbler."
You gonna make shoes, you little foot fetish weirdo?
Yeah.
So anyway, he's dying, and he basically is like,
Fairy boy Hatter over here. Next, you're gonna be wanting to be painting face makeup on yourself to make your eyelids look like teeth.
"Yeah,
That's weird.
that's weird."
Because that's true.
Yeah. God damn it. And
Yeah.
you know he probably had a hand in how he looked.
More than likely. You think he was just looking in the makeup chair for 5 hours, being like, "Yeah, no, please stop."
No, I know.
Exactly.
He's like, "I gotta go home and beat my wife."
Oh no,
That's right. I'm coming for you.
she'll beat me. That's what happened,
And then I'll beat her.
right?
It was a bad relationship.
You seem drive angry. That's just us.
She came from hell.
She doesn't come from
No, he
hell.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and that's not him. That's Nicolas Cage.
That movie's awesome.
Yeah. No, so he basically explains that he's gonna die if he can't find his family.
Yeah.
Like, which is weird. Okay.
And she explains to him that bringing back his family is impossible. And to me, I'm like, that's just eye-rolling, literally, because your opening line is that nothing's impossible.
Yeah.
Like, why would that come out of that character's mouth? It seems like a betrayal of the character.
It's literally
of
for
whatever character that has been established.
It's literally for the hypocrisy. It's literally so Anne Hathaway can wave her arms around and enter the room and be like, "Nothing's impossible in Underland."
La 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 la, I'm Glenda the Good Witch ripoff. Yeah.
God, her arms. Stop moving the arms.
Yeah, she's doing like the Mars Attacks arms.
Yes. Yeah.
Nobody can see you.
I know. You can.
Yeah. People are like, they're just laughing for no reason.
Yeah. No, so she...
Welcome to the silent podcast.
That'd be a cool podcast.
Just laughter, like.
Welcome to Sounds
People
of
are like,
Pee-wee Corner.
they've gone crazy.
This movie killed us. It broke us. It took 100 and something episodes, but it finally happened.
Lightspeed Dandor!
I'm not jerking off.
See you later, alligator.
So they go to the castle. The good castle, not the bad castle.
Okay.
To go to the clock.
Yeah.
Why you're like, okay.
Because I'm lost.
No, Anne Hathaway explains to her that there's a way that they could bring his
at
family
that
down.
castle where there's the grandfather clock that's like wrapped in vines.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Yes.
It's the good castle because there's a bad castle, the Queen of Hearts castle.
That's not even a castle anymore.
No, it's just a big vine
bush.
heart. It is a big bush.
Bush heart.
Which still haven't seen her yet.
Okay.
Your main villain has not.
Nope.
We haven't seen her once yet.
You won't see her for a while.
No,
That's
she doesn't
fine.
come in until like midway through the second
I
act.
don't remember
of
what
this
they
film.
did to her in the first movie.
She
remember.
just got sad.
Abolished or something. I don't know. So, and then she's like, so you're going to go back and you're going to steal the chronosphere. Now,
Yeah.
the chronosphere is a time-traveling device, basically.
Time heist.
Yeah, that's what I wrote, too. You mean Back to the Future is just bullshit?
You mean Alice in Wonderland is bullshit?
Damn, good thing they didn't quote that one.
Yeah, because they'd be like, no, yeah, it is.
They're like, Hot Tub Time Machine, Back to the Future, Alice Through the Looking Glass.
He's like, especially that last one.
Yeah. Dabs.
Dab,
So, yeah.
go green.
So they're off to get the chronosphere, right? Not they, her, Alice. Alice goes into this time world, a world where time is an actual human being, like embodiment.
Yeah,
Right?
she has to walk across this huge crystal clock hand, which had the stupidest fucking reveal, because it's like this thing moving hella fast across the thing, this big
Yeah.
arm, and then she jumps onto it, and then falls onto a arm underneath it, and it moves one tick really quick, and she starts running, and the camera proceeds to pan out upwards and show you that it's a big clock.
Okay.
Hey, filmmakers, we're not fucking idiots. We got it.
But also, she proceeds, like, she immediately, like, gets, like, basically portaled into this world, right? And then immediately sees the second hand sweeping towards her and jumps on it, even though it's going at least 40 miles an hour.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I'm like, girl, one, survey your area.
Yeah, it's like, oh, yeah, I've never been here before. Awesome. I'm going to jump on this big crystal arm.
Right? Two, once you figure out it's a clock, you'll realize that the minute hand goes slower and the hour hand goes even slower.
Yes. Also,
So just walk around the circle and get to the center.
Also, just survey your area and know that that arm will be back in literally a minute. You will
can
be
time it
fine.
better.
Yes. Not like, oh no, gotta jump now.
Yeah, it's like, boom, boom, portal. What? Oh, go.
What if she just jumped? It was like clunk and just like flipped into that abyss. She was just gone forever.
Some things are impossible, bitch. Then she's just falling into it like a time loop.
Forever.
Like
she just
Loki.
falls forever.
Ah.
I've been falling for 30 minutes. Yeah. No, so she gets in there into this building. And again, why I brought up like Crimson Peak in the first place, besides that she's in it, is this shit looks like Crimson Peak.
Okay,
It is
yeah.
just like the art style in it. Did Oz the Great and the Powerful come out before the first Alice in Wonderland?
Yes.
It did?
Yeah. As Great and Powerful was like 2011, 2012.
Okay, that's what
Yeah.
I thought.
Mhm.
Wait, is just like, honestly, these two movies really stole that shtick.
This stole it, but then also here comes the Nutcracker one. They all have the same aesthetic.
It's like gritty, like
It's just there's a lot of it's vibrant colors and the enemies get like super dark, ominous shadowing.
yeah, and it's just
Right?
like
With like extremely intricate digital background settings To the point in this film where like clocks are ticking and moving all behind them. When they're in the bush castle, there's like bugs trickling up the walls, and it's just distracting when you're trying to be listening to like actual plot synopsis of what's going on. Which is another reason why you were getting lost, is because I think just like me, I'd be listening to what the Queen had to say or something, and then there'd be like a bug that's in depth of field, out of focus in the background, that's like up the back, and you're like, whoa, what's that bug?
Yeah, I think another reason why, and we'll touch on this more, is that like this movie took so long to build up to the ending, and then the ending was just like, all right, we're done now. It's just like,
all right, wrap it up.
Yeah, I got 10 minutes.
Wrap it up. They're filming Beauty and the Beast in here in 5 minutes.
Oh God. Jesus Christ. Yeah, so she gets inside the castle, and then we're introduced to Time himself.
Okay, so I thought I was going to hate Sacha Baron Cohen more.
No, he's pretty good.
He's actually probably the best part of this film.
He's literally just doing a more exaggerated accent from his character in Talladega Nights, though, because he's like French for some reason.
It's probably not far from
like
his own voice.
French, but German.
Yeah.
Because he says his W's like V's.
Yeah.
It's still... In his introduction to him, he's supposed to be this ominous presence, and he fucking slapstick falls on the ground.
Okay, no, I love this bit, though, right?
So are you talking about the things shaped like him?
Because of the line, right? He's walking down this hall, right? Now, he, as a character, has this, like, kind of bigger top hat, right? But it doesn't have the branched out, like, bottom of a top hat,
like a brim. No, it just literally just like extends off the top of his head.
Right, he's wearing like a fade from like Kid and Play, and he's got these gigantic shoulders that can only be described as, for me, I'm like, it's Zeus from No Holds Barred, or it's like something Lady Gaga would wear.
Yeah, they're like pauldrons. They're just like, he's like a paladin with a fade.
Right, and he's walking down a hallway that's shaped identical to him.
Like
right?
literally two size, like a cartoon, like busted through a wall, like like shaped to him.
And there's basically, the hallway has multiple walls that are all like cut out to this as you walk down, right? So like for each column down this long corridor, right? He hits the final one, just like clunk, right, and falls, and he goes, "Stupid me-shaped hallway."
It's just like, it's so funny, and
it's a really great bit.
Yeah, but it's also like, this is supposed to be our ominous villain.
But it turns out he's not actually a villain.
No, but we have a weird realization that I actually really liked at the end of the movie. That I think we'll hold till the ending, because there's a great. This movie has one good line, and it's right at the end, and it's about Time himself.
Sure.
So, he's walking through doing his duties, and he goes into. There's two rooms. There's living of Underland, and then there's the dead of Underland.
Sure.
And he walks in, and this is a very pretty visual. It's like this.
It's an infinite white. Or like not
like
white,
a cloud
but infinite,
room. Of
space.
Clouds of pocket watches,
all dangling from unseen places in the sky.
But they're everywhere. They're scattered all over the place. There's no like rhyme or reason to it.
You can't see where they're hanging from. It's just a chain that goes into infinity.
So he walks over, and this is a funny bit with him too. Is he walks over and he's looking for a specific person's name, and he's like. Oh, there you are. And he holds it in his hand, and he's like, your clock has ticked its last tick. And he pulls it off the chain, and it just shows some random guy die.
I do like that bit.
Where his head just falls in the soup.
It's just him, and there's like a humanoid frog behind him, and the guy is just like, he's like, you ticked its last tick, closes the watch, and it switches over to this guy, and he's like,
yeah, which is pretty funny.
Yes, very funny.
So then Alice watches all of this. He proceeds to walk to the death room, and it's all organized, which I liked the juxtaposition of that, of like the living room was just scattered and all this kind of stuff, and then this one's like straight up alphabetical. And he's going through, he's saying like the last names, and there's a bunch that are missing. He says, not here yet, and then
what are they called? The Hattertons or something?
Some shit like that, but he doesn't say it. He's just saying like H, not here yet.
So why when the flashback does he say it? Because he says it in the later.
Does he say Hatterton?
He does.
Oh, then he does say it.
Okay.
Which is should have been a tip off to her. And because it's in alphabetical order, which is the whole reason you came here. But then he picks up the pocket watch.
Yes.
And he turns around and he sees her.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, there's these weird steam pot things running around.
Okay, so that's another thing is their representation of time also equals steampunk.
Yeah, it's just steampunk.
Because he's steampunk too. He's made out of gadgets and gears in his back neck that are all
which I thought was going to be a lot cooler, but they really only show it once to be yeah, he's clockwork, and then that's really it.
Yeah, it's one of those things too because there's a gap of Sacha Baron Cohen missing from the back of his neck.
Yes.
Right? And I know it's probably if somebody sat down and was look, this is how we do it. I get it, but for me, I'm always if there's a chunk of somebody missing, it's always more where I'm how did you really do it? I get there's green screen and everything.
That's what it is.
But also I'm so is it because everything around him is a digital set and you already have that recreated in the computer? But what happens when everything's a practical set and they're doing it? Do they have to film it and then film him over top of it a second time?
No, he's literally wearing a cowl of a green screen on the back of his head.
Right, but I mean in order to get the background behind him.
Oh, they just do separate layers.
Yeah.
It's they layer in just that, and then they layer in the other.
But
they use different shades for chromas.
But I'm talking about if there's camera movement, because that camera movement has to track the exact same way, right?
Yeah, I see what
we're
you're
talking nerdy stuff. I can talk to you about it.
No, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, where in my mind I'm okay, well, if it's a practical set and the camera has to track the exact same way, that means the camera had to film the set without him. And then do the exact same motion on a track and film him so that basically you can layer those two together and it'll run together and you'll still get the background. We're talking way nerdy. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, it's all good.
I think you get it.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
As an
I'll
editor.
explain it to you after.
Okay.
It's really actually crazy simple.
I figured it was.
It's more simple when you have
I know chroma key, but
it's more simple when you have a practical set.
Yes.
Because you just shoot it in the same shot with a green screen on the back.
But that's when a camera is still.
No, it can keep moving. You can track motion.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how it works.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's really easy.
People are hey, just move on.
God, we don't care about the goddamn green screen.
I don't know anything about it.
It's editing. What's that? I just thought you film it and you put it in the theater. You mean Rocket Raccoon's not real?
I thought you just stuck a VHS in a camcorder and said action.
Just made sure the end of the end was cut off. So many home movies I made with my friends where it's editing in the camera where you had to rewind the tape a little bit and you could just hear me okay, go.
Yeah.
Yes, so there's all these little clockwork thingies in them. They're kind of cute, but there's no...
I think the coolest part about them is to realize, because I didn't really hear what their names were.
They're called seconds.
Right, but... Even that...
When they transform to Megatron.
That's awesome. Yeah, they were like, I'm Devastator.
It's me, Minotator.
Minutes.
So he sees her and he's like...
I'm a day.
Oh, God.
I'm 24 hours.
It is I. A week. Just fucking ripped. So he sees her and she starts to run, and a chase ensues.
Because, well, no, he asks her to get out.
Oh, yes, that's right. They have a conversation.
And then she's like, he asks the seconds to escort her out, right? But I guess they don't, because instead she listens in on a conversation between him and the Red Queen.
Yes, she shows up.
So Helen Bonham Carter shows up with a gigantic head.
God, I fucking hate this character design.
Yeah.
And hey, if you ever wondered why she had a big head and no one else did, don't worry. They explain it in this fucking movie.
This movie was all right, we really, really, really need to try to explain why Tim Burton gave his wife a big head.
All right, listen. When people came out of the movie at the premiere, and we asked them what they thought, they all kept asking, "Why is her head so big?" So we gotta answer it.
So we wrote a whole movie around it.
Basically, that is the big story like plot point in this is how her head got so fucking big, and
it's so stupid how it
is
happens.
literally
too.
it's so fucking dumb, and it doesn't work in the movie at all. One that is so fucking dumb but does work in the movie is when you figure out why Nick Fury wears a fucking eye patch.
Right.
Like, that shit's funny because you're expecting it to be something cool, and he just has a scratch on the eye. In this movie,
This is somebody has a hemorrhage and then hits their head and it gets even bigger.
Yes, this movie, you learn that her head actually always wasn't that big, and you're like, oh, what the fuck?
But it still was like weirdly off because they were like, well, we got to start it out digitally.
Yeah, god damn it.
So we'll get there in a second. Okay.
So basically, she's like, I need to go, like, what's going on with the time, blah, 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 blah.
She wants the chronosphere as well.
And he's like, no, you can't have it. He's like, it's
which
the most...
is what he told Alice,
yes,
too.
he's like, it's the most powerful thing, like, in the universe. It's a huge deal. I have to watch it.
Yeah.
And this is when you start getting hints of him not being a bad guy.
Right.
That, like...
He's being used.
Yeah, and this is his job.
She's like, you want the pussy? And he's like, I do. I so badly do.
I bet it's huge like your head.
I bet I can use it as a flying squirrel.
Did you hit it on a ledge as well? So, meanwhile...
So Alice is listening to all that, and then... she decides now's her chance. She goes to like the inside of the clock castle and steals the chronosphere, and immediately time is like, I can feel it, and like something's wrong, and goes and is like, get after her, and a chase ensues.
Yes. So here's the thing again. She's where I want to touch back on it because
Yeah.
I really like Alice in Wonderland a lot. The animated, not the movie before this is a sequel to the animated film.
Sure.
A spiritual sequel, right?
Yeah, because there's a lot of ghosts in it.
Ooh, it's me, Crispin Glover.
Alice.
It's the ghost of my career.
It's me, Christopher Lee. I'm back as a Jabberwocky. That's true.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. No,
I was Count Dooku.
my head. No, so like I said before, in the original movie, she learns not to be so childish and so quick to do things.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the next movie, they basically are just like, nah, fuck it, she's an idiot.
It's almost as if they were like, that movie doesn't matter.
Yeah, but the problem is that they decide to make it a sequel and be like, yeah, all that happened before, you just don't remember it. But she learned a valuable lesson.
Yeah, but then it's almost as if even in this one they were like, and then both movies don't like happen, but you don't remember it.
You didn't learn anything last time either. You're just an idiot.
You're just a ship captain now who's still an idiot.
So she hears, no, you can't have it. And instead of being like, oh, that means I shouldn't take it, it's just like, that means I gotta take it.
Also, like, time itself, or himself, says, and I quote, you can't change time, but you can learn from it.
Yeah, and she's just like, no, fuck you, weird clock man.
Yeah.
Just leaves.
Yeah.
So, yes, a chase ensues. The seconds take after her. He's running after her, too. She's getting closer to the chronosphere, and this is what we were talking about when he's like, Autobots, roll out.
Yeah.
And the minutes turn into...
No.
Oh.
The seconds turn into minutes.
Seconds turn into minutes.
Yeah.
And they start...
Which are just like kind of now people-sized,
Yes.
like monsters.
Yes, like a little
Robot
bigger than
monsters.
a person, and they're coming after
kind of
her.
trollish.
Yes, yeah.
I loved them.
No, that was my favorite part.
Yeah, I loved it just because I was like, oh, that's cool, I get it.
And I loved them before too because they were cute as fuck.
Yeah.
I was like, there's a lot of cool creature designs in this, and the ones that we're stuck with fucking suck. I don't
Yeah.
care about a little mouse woman
No.
or Fox
She
and the
sucks.
Hound.
She looks like she'd be annoying in real life, too.
It's like, I don't give a shit about either of those. I want these little teapot people
Yeah, they were cool.
and the little butler,
Yeah.
little robo butler.
Which all just remind me of TikTok from Wizard of Oz.
Like I said, this movie steals so much shit from Return to Oz.
Mm-hmm.
Right down to, like, it always bugged me that thing was called the Jabberwocky because
Yeah.
there's Jabberwockies.
Right
in
down
that.
to being another emo person from like Faruka.
Oh, well,
from Return to Oz.
also a weird plot line about being in a fucking mental institution.
What is that? Thanks, Sucker Punch.
Yeah. God. No, so she takes the holocron, whatever it's called, the chronosphere.
The
Allspark. Autobots, we need the Allspark.
Bumblebee. I need it. I need the horse mark so bad, Bumblebee.
Bumblebee.
I don't know why my Optimus Prime is now also text.
Put it in my ass, Bumblebee.
B, I need it right in the tailpipe, right where it matters.
And then B starts playing that like, I wanna lick you from your head to your toes.
And I wanna move from the bed. Ride my pony.
It's too bad that
It's a Mustang.
It's too bad that they rebooted the series. They could have hired us to write another one in the base in the Michael Bay universe.
You still haven't watched that Bumblebee
No, I don't
want
want to cry.
It's damn good.
The trailers made me cry, so I can't watch it.
Yeah.
So she takes
Especially when it was like, never gonna give you up. You were like,
turns out it's also a vehicle.
okay, yeah, sure. So it kind of turns into the actual time machine from like H.G. Wells.
Yes.
But I don't understand how it works.
But she does, because as she says,
Immediately.
it's just like a ship.
Nope.
And again, to touch on what you said, Sacha Baron Cohen is like the best character in this film because he has a pretty funny thing where a thing comes down and it says, pull me. She pulls it. Another weird thing is that it makes a toilet flush sound because it is a toilet flusher.
Yeah.
And he's like, who put that on there? Who wrote that? And he's like, you did, sir. And he's like, oh yeah. This is like so fucking dumb. It takes her. She starts flying it towards them. And goes through time before it hits them.
I don't understand what... So the timeline of the chronosphere is just drawn pictures of specific characters that you've seen before.
Yes, and also time is an ocean.
Yep.
And they really want to remind you of the Jabberwocky as much as possible because it's in like every fucking memory.
Yep. I don't get it. I don't understand.
So she's on her way to the time when, as she believes, the queen killed the Hatter's family with the Jabberwocky.
And sees that she didn't. Just moving on.
Yeah. She goes back in time, sees
that
some
the
bullshit.
queen actually captured them.
Yes, she captured them.
Right? So now she decides to go back further in time to see why the queen should capture them. But how the hell would she know what time that happened? But she hits it right on the nose.
She's got a time travel GPS.
It's the only way you can travel through time.
Yeah.
That's right. Yep, she gets on her quantum suit.
Well, first she goes even farther back and finds young does she go first to young Mad Hatter when he makes the hat?
Well, so there's certain things that we did miss here. Like while she's going through the ocean, Time himself also is
he's chasing after her.
He's chasing after her on like
a glider.
Well, it's okay. It's like what you would do on like that manual thing that you would pump on a railroad.
Yes, yeah. He's
okay.
like,
yeah, right. I don't know what the hell that is, but also at the same time, I'm like, part of me questioned it. Part of me wanted to question it. The other part of me didn't. Where I'm like, okay, so you're using the most powerful device, known to Underworld to travel through time, which is the chronosphere, but Time also has his own time machine.
Yeah, the crankosphere.
The crankshaft.
He's got to crank it to get through. Also, what we didn't reveal yet is that Time's just fucking dying.
Yes.
Now that
as soon as you take
gone.
the chronosphere, that's basically his heart.
Yeah, and he's like, uh-oh.
Right? But not before he reveals himself to be Thanos, in which he screams before she knocks him into like his own timeline as he goes, I am inevitable! And she's like, I am Alice, and snapped. And then the movie was over.
And then he's just farming. He's like, well, I don't have much time. He lands back in...
And she was like, don't you worry, Time. I'm going to get you all the cheeseburgers you need.
I love you 3,000!
Minutes!
So he ends up in where she just was with all the people.
Okay, yeah, this is weird. So yes, Alice time travels back to the Red Queen's origin story, is what I wrote.
Yes,
which means that she has traveled back to the part where she is going to be crowned princess of the land.
Yeah,
right, and successor to the throne once her parents
Yes.
pass on.
Yes.
And then
she still has a big fucking head, but it's not as big as it was.
it's more the hair that's
the hair
big
is
thing,
it's a big heart thing.
right? And so the Mad Hatter made the crown.
Yes. His family made the crown.
I think he made
Oh,
it.
did he
This
make
was his first job or something.
And he really fucked it up.
No, he didn't.
You didn't take head measurements?
That's true.
That's like the one thing you need to do as a hat maker.
I thought you meant because he just hot glued and bedazzled the
Yeah.
the plastic gems.
Should have given her a Burger King crown. Those are adjustable. No, so his dad's like, hey, don't fuck this up for us. And he's like, don't worry, Dad. I'm a moron. I will. It's just like, so
No worries, Dad. I'm a ginger.
Yeah, his dad goes to present it to the Princess of Hearts. The box slams shut, and everyone.
She's not the Queen of Hearts. They're the red. She's the Red Queen.
That's right. She's the Red Queen. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The
Queen of Hearts never shows up in this film.
That's
Or
right.
either film.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of people. And that was a problem with Tim Burton, is that he wrote her saying off with her head, but everybody knows that was the Queen of Hearts in the
Yeah.
original. It got all messed up. Because it was basically, Disney was like, well, you got to have him say off with her head. What do you mean it's the Queen of Hearts? They're
Yeah.
like, yeah, because she's going to date Crispin Glover, and he's the knave.
Yeah.
And people were like, I don't know what's going on.
They were like, "Where's her little husband?"
Yeah. I love
He's
that
my
guy.
favorite.
Oh, my dear.
That when I directed that show, there was a very small kid, a 7th grader, who came up to me and he's like, I loved him from previously. He was Cogsworth when I directed Beauty and the Beast. And he comes up to me and he says, all I want to be is the king. And I straight up told him during auditions, I was like, I had no one else in mind. And he was like, can I do the voice? And I was like, can you do it well? And he's like, hear ye, hear. And he did like this little tiny kid voice, and it was so fucking perfect. I love that kid. But
And
yeah,
then he just sat in the corner while he watched the queen get smashed by a couple hearts.
damn. He would be a cuck though, that little guy.
Oh no! Oh dear!
Rule 76: the queen always wins. That's from the ride. So yeah, I did not know that she's
Ace
not
in the hole.
she's not the Queen of Hearts. Very confusing considering everything around her is a fucking heart.
Yep.
And she's shaped like a heart, and her chest is shaped like a heart. So anyway, they go to put the crown on her, and it doesn't fit her fucking head. And the dad's trying to force it, and it snaps.
Yep.
And the
It's not her dad. It's just a guy.
Oh,
Her
it's
dad,
just-
her dad
that's
and her
right.
mom are watching from Thrones.
No, I'm saying it's Mad Hatter's dad.
Is it?
Yes.
I don't.
Yes,
I
it is.
didn't care who it was.
Yeah, I don't
who
give a
put it
shit
on.
either. But no, it was her dad. It was his dad, and he puts it on her head, and it snaps, and the Mad Hatter proceeds to bust the fuck up.
That's why it's his fault.
Yes, and he's
Because
like,
No, he doesn't even laugh that hard.
No, he just laughs a little
Snickers.
bit, but then it causes everyone in the audience to laugh, and then
fucking frogs are like,
they're like, that's funny, and we're fucking frog people.
yeah,
We eat flies.
we're nothing but a head.
Yeah, and then she's like getting embarrassed, and they stop it all. She yells at them a little bit.
She screams at everybody, basically, getting to the thing where you're like, can you just say off with your head?
Yes, and then the
She's
dad's like,
She's like, off with your faces and your mouths, and you're like, just say it.
and your buttholes specifically. And then
And your labias.
and the dad, no lips allowed. And the dad steps in and is like, if you can't handle this, you can't be queen.
Yeah.
And she's like, ah, and she screams and hey, here.
Well, no, it's not like. Let's put it the way he says it though, because that's basically saying you need to fix yourself. No, he straight up is like, because of what I've seen, you will never be queen.
Yes.
That's highly different than
Yeah.
if you can't get it together.
Yeah, and
So that makes her break a blood vessel.
her head pot gets even bigger.
Yeah.
And then she proceeds to get fucking roasted by people in the audience. They just roast her.
Now I remember why her head's already big, because of something that happens even
Yes,
further
see,
in
and
the
that's what I'm saying.
past.
Is hey, remember when
It's
you had
backwards.
no fucking questions about why she had such a big head? You just thought it was some wacky Tim Burton
Yes.
bullshit. Don't worry, this movie will explain it to you, fucking idiots. So she gets roasted, and then the dad's also like, you know what, your sister's gonna be queen. Fuck you, which
Yep.
is just such a weird decision to make.
in front of everyone.
Everyone just embarrasses her.
Hear ye, hear ye. She's a bitch.
Yeah, you got a big fucking head.
Yeah. So now, I guess.
Alice goes even further.
Yeah,
back
she's
in
like,
time.
that wasn't enough.
That wasn't it. So she goes back.
We
in
got to
time,
go back to the Wild West.
and
Doc.
she actually strangles baby Queen, Red Queen.
Stop.
No, so she goes even further back, and she sees, yes, that's right, young
10-year-old Mad Hatter.
and he's like, I want to make you a hat, and she's like, She goes in his shop. He's trying to make her a hat.
Yep.
And he's like, do you want a bird? And it's this weird fucking, like, kind of looks like Iago bird.
Sure.
And he's like, what about this? And the dad's like, hey, you fucking moron. We don't make weird hats. And he's like, okay. And he's like, but I made this. And it's like this little tiny hat. And his dad fucking breaks it and then throws it in the trash.
Mm-hmm.
And Mad Hatter's like, I'm going to go kill myself now.
I'm going to go shoot a school up.
Does dress like that, like a school shooter.
Take this, frogs!
You riveted your last rivet.
Oh, man.
So Alice leaves because it's awkward as fuck.
Yeah.
And goes to the castle.
Yes, in which she then sees young White Queen and Red Queen, or Princess at this point,
Yes.
right? But White Queen,
They're
Anne
eating,
Hathaway child,
They're eating
is
tarts.
eating tarts. Yeah,
And
and
yeah.
crumbles crumbles
Well,
fall
first
on the
off,
ground.
their mom, they were in the kitchen. And their mom said, "No more tarts for anyone else.
Right,
You guys
right.
are done eating them." So then, yes, Anne Hathaway's character is eating a tart.
I get another tart. And
in the Red Queen's room, and she leaves crumbs all over the floor.
well, it's both their bedrooms.
But it's
both
next to-
beds are
it's-
there.
it's next
But
to Red
Red
Queen's
Queen's bed,
bed.
and she brushes the crumbs under the bed.
And then their mom comes in after they're arguing with each other and is like, Red Queen, I told you not to eat any more tarts. And she's like, it wasn't me, it was her.
Yep.
And then I don't know, there was no reasoning behind, they just fucking hate this kid because they're just like, did you do it? She's like, no. Or it must have been you then, you little brat.
Well, yeah, because that's another thing too, where they sit there and they question the White. I'm just gonna call him White Queen. Like, whatever.
I can't, I don't know any other
Question
names.
White Queen kid to say, "Hey, did you eat the tarts?" And she goes, and if it's not an immediate no, if there's this much pause, you did it.
Yeah, she pauses and she's like, no.
Yeah. And she's like, all right, you little shitbag. Like, takes her out and I guess beats her. I don't know what happens.
No, she's about to and she runs away.
Okay.
But
and it's just like,
before this-
I hate you all.
We did see something that I was like, what the fuck? Why are they even showing us that? But it is really important is that the Red Queen has an ant farm
Yes.
and she's like replenishing it.
Yes.
But she runs away and Alice tries to go after her. And literally, like, out of some fucking slapstick comedy movie, there's two people moving a clock through the middle of the way that they're running. And Alice is like, oh no, she's going to hit her head on that.
Oh no, it's not time for the clock, people. This is plate glass time.
So she shoves the frog people out of the way and shatters this clock.
Yep.
Then the Red Queen proceeds to turn around and look at her and trip over her own feet and smash her head into a curb.
It was great.
It was very funny. I actually thought because the camera tilts up and shows this statue wobbling above her. I was like, is the statuette gonna fall on her too?
This is Rube Goldberg's machine of just horrible ways to hit your head.
Her head just gets like flattened, like straight blood, just like. Yeah. So Alice has this
Anvil drops on it.
and Alice has this weird realization of like,
What time told her?
yeah, she's just like, oh, no matter what, time's gonna find a way to do what it's gonna do.
Yeah.
So like, regardless, she was gonna hit her head. She
I
hits
mean, now she just made an alternate dimension.
now she's mentally deficient because she hit her head so hard. Her head starts. The guy literally goes, "Oh man, you hit your head so hard, it's starting to swell already," and it just gets big.
Yeah.
And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. Now you know how she got such a big goddamn head.
So I don't remember how this next part happens, but my next note says, meanwhile, back in the real world.
Yes.
Something happens in order for Alice, like, she's back in the real world.
Yeah, she goes back because she realizes that
I can't do
the
nothing?
Hatters... No, she realizes that the Hatters' parents are not dead.
Mm-hmm.
That they've been kidnapped.
And she knew that already.
And she knows where now.
Yes.
So she goes and she tells the Mad Hatter, I know where your parents are. They're not dead. Also, she saw his dad take the hat out of the trash before she left and put it in his pocket.
Yeah.
And she tells him that. And then he gets all the color back and he Grandpa Joe's it from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. All of a sudden he's okay.
You're skipping ahead, though.
Am I?
Because we didn't mention, like, while she's back in real time, she's in a mental institution.
That's right. Jesus Christ. That's right.
They
Time,
sucker
real
punch
time.
it, right?
Yeah.
Where there's a creepy dude being like, we'll fix her, right?
He's
And
like,
it's-
typical women hysteria.
women hysteria. PMS.
Which, just gonna throw this out there for historical context. In the late 1800s, when this film takes place, female hysteria was actually cured by a
Penis.
very primitive vibrator.
Yeah.
That's how they used to do it. They're like, take this home, blast your vagina with it, and you won't be so fucking crazy.
Because you know your man's not doing anything for you.
Peabody, he's on the other side of the earth.
No, he's right there. He just doesn't know how to touch you.
He's colonizing.
What is this, vagina?
Vagina, I gotta go
Gotta milk the cow.
I gotta go make some people in a foreign country white. So yeah, this guy's like, I got a cure for it. Here's a needle. She jams it in him as her mom left the room, and the mom comes in the room and sees Alice like like look at her like out of a horror movie, and is like, "Go, Alice, go," and she runs out.
Yeah.
And honest to God, I can't remember how she gets back.
She just dives back into the mirror, I think.
Oh, into a mirror that's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works on any mirror, apparently. So
She just smashed through right into the wall.
slits her throat with the glass. Just like,
Typical female hysteria.
meanwhile, Time's like, "Fuck," he's just dying.
Where's the goddamn chronosphere? Where's my wife?
Oh, Jesus Christ!
So now she's back, and this is where. See, I must have got it confused, but this is where she sees that his parents did not die; they were kidnapped because
Yeah.
she witnesses basically the wrong Mad Queen take care of a whole village.
Yes, yes. Yeah. So she goes and she tells, like I said, like I jumped ahead. Yes, she tells the Mad Hatter, "Your family's still alive."
Meanwhile, while this has all been happening, Time himself has been like stalled by the Mad Hatter in like, I guess from the first movie and his tea party.
Yes.
Where he's not depressed and white haired and everything. And this is where Time gets pissed off that, like, for some reason Mad Hatter was lying to him and stalling him about where Alice was, when I'm like, how do you don't know what's going on? You don't know
I
the
know,
plot.
it's weird. He has future vision, apparently.
I don't know, but this is where Time decides to put the entire tea party participants into a 1 minute before tea time loop. I don't understand.
He's like, "It's never tea time," and that's it.
Wouldn't the Hatter? We're going into like, are we gonna take the rules of like every time travel movie that we know, or are we gonna take our new quantum theory time travel?
Well, no, this-
or wouldn't the Hatter be stuck in a time loop instead of depressed in the future?
No, because this actually plays semi on the
Alternate versions,
the
alternate dimensions.
No, like the God
You
damn
can't
it.
change your future.
Yes, kind of. Because one of the coolest parts of this movie that actually took me, like, shocked the shit out of me is coming up with the time travel thing.
Okay.
So yeah, they take off her and the Hatter to go get the chronosphere back.
Mm-hmm. There's a part where he goes then back into the future, and he goes to the Red Queen's like Thorn Heart Castle, and she arrests him.
Time.
To arrest time. Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I'm saying.
Yes, and then this leads up to the Mad Hatter leading an expedition.
But I also don't understand how you can arrest time when we've literally just seen his power of the ability to put people into time loops.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, he's dying. He's too
like Dormammu.
He's too weak. That's why.
Okay, fair, fine,
yeah.
whatever.
So anyway, they lead an expedition adventure led by the Mad Hatter to the Red Queen's castle, which is a huge fucking heart. So I forgive you if you were confused too.
And all the minions, all the characters that you know and love are there.
Yeah, like
the talking dog,
vegetable gremlin.
Yeah, they're there.
Yeah, they're all there. Big weird cat thing.
You mean the Cheshire Cat?
No, the big cat that like.
Oh, the Snarfle Bluggle Muggle. I don't know.
That was a slur somewhere.
Yeah, I said Muggle.
So they show up and
Mugblood. That's what it is.
I think Muggle's a slur, kind of a slur
kind
too.
Of. I thought Muggle was just you were a normal human.
Yeah, but I don't think it's said in like a very like positive light.
Yeah, it's not because they're like the Jews.
I mean,
that's the entire allegory.
No, sadly, it's the goblins that run the bank, which is a really fucked up thing by J.K. Rowling. No, really, like it is,
and they're gay.
Dumbledore used to fuck so much ass.
Who else can be gay?
Cho Chow, she was normal. Fuck her.
The Wolfman was a transsexual. Wolfman and woman during the day.
No. Fuck you, J.K. Rowling.
She's the worst.
She really is.
Go back to being homeless.
Hey, everyone else, go read a real book. Oh, that's right. I hate Harry Potter with a fucking passion.
I love the movies. Yeah. I really do. I really
actually
enjoy
haven't
them
seen
a lot.
The last two, as in part 1,
what?
part 2.
I like part 1 of last one. A lot. Because that's where they go heavy on the Nazi allegories. Like, they're wearing armbands, they're putting out propaganda posters about mudbloods and stuff like that.
I won't watch it now because I took the Pottermore quiz and it said I was a Slytherin and I'm fucking angry.
Yeah. Don't be angry about it.
Are you
Embrace
too?
that, fool. Yeah.
Oh.
Why do you think we have this show?
Because we're Nazis?
Evil. They're not Nazis.
All of them turn out to be pretty bad.
No, they do not. If you had watched the last movie, you would know that even some Slytherin children help protect their school. Like, it's not. It just so happens that
all the bad people come from it,
right? Because that's where the main bad people like kind of got together. They were there and they thought they were superior, and then they just led an uprising that just so happened to be in that house.
Okay. All right.
I'm not evil. I'm just a badass leader.
I would not say that either.
Fuck you. This is why this works, buddy. Okay? Embrace that shit.
Carly's like a Hufflepuff or some shit.
Of course she is.
Yeah.
She just sits on the couch and reads. Yeah. Look at her right now.
Yeah. Loser.
Yeah. Take your headphones off and look at us.
She's going to be like, I wasn't there.
I know. I wasn't there for that one. That was last week.
She left me. So anyway.
Tyler's never actually had a fiance.
We've been making up Carly this whole time.
Could you imagine? People are like, what?
That'd be a twist. So they get to the castle, and this is actually kind of a cool shot, but then again, it's really like it doesn't focus on the cool stuff enough, so you're just like, whatever. They're going up vertically, and they keep opening doors, and weird shit happens. Who gives a shit? But they're being pursued by like these light up millipedes that like take everyone.
Yeah, there was the millipedes I was talking about that distract you in other conversations.
Yeah, and they're cool, but then not enough cool stuff happens.
Nah.
So Alice and the Hatter get to the top floor. They open the room, and she's like, I don't know where it is. Like, they should be in here, is what she's expecting.
Mm-hmm.
They're not. They're looking everywhere, and then they look over at the ant farm, and a fucking hat symbol is drawn in it.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh my God. And they go up to it, and there's his tiny family inside the ant farm.
Yeah.
He proceeds to
with the world's tiniest tiny house.
Yes. Welcome to Tiny Homes. Underland edition. He proceeds to plant his chapped ass lips on the thing.
That was weird.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, I love you, family."
Right? And they do it from their perspective.
Yes, it's gross.
So gigantic lips, which on a giant 40-foot screen must have been just as equally as gross for the audience who actually saw this movie.
Put on some chapstick. So
ashy ass motherfucker. You pale pasty bastard.
So the castle starts going on to lockdown, basically.
Right. And in order to save everybody, Alice has to give up the time stone.
I saw all the possible outcomes. This is the one where we win.
I'd rather just lose.
Have you seen that theory that there actually was an outcome where Tony didn't die, but Doctor Strange was so mad that he called him a wizard that he was like, "Yeah, that's the only way."
No. There's actually a couple.
Yeah, he's like, "No, this is the only way, man. You gotta."
He picked the one in which he died.
Yeah, where they all survived, but he dies because he was like, "Fuck you for calling me a wizard."
And he just kind of steered it towards that.
Yes.
This guy's gonna fucking die.
Asshole.
Yeah, right.
Where's my second movie? So yeah, she gives up the holocron. God, I keep wanting to call it the holocron. What the fuck is the
Chronosphere.
holocron?
Holocron?
Yeah,
Holocron is what the Jedi have.
that's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
God damn it. Getting my other nerd shit mixed up.
Hell yeah.
Yes. So she gives it the chronosphere. They get locked into prisons.
Mm-hmm. It's like vegetable prison.
Vegetable
It's just
prison.
like vines.
It's a big asparagus, actually.
Yeah. And then Red Queen goes back in time.
Yes, not before eating her right hand plant woman's nose.
Yeah.
Which was fucked up.
Yeah.
So they're all.
And then Daffy Gremlin's like,
She chooses. She's like, "What's up, Doc?" She looks at the camera and the credits roll, and that's it.
"Is that civilized?"
Civilized? No. There's gremlins in the projection booth.
Start spreading the news.
I'm leaving today. New York, New York. We should do staff picks for Gremlins too.
Yes, but with Zach Galligan.
Yes,
Because he's coming back, you know.
Oh shit.
Yeah, we already asked him to come back and do Gremlins 2 as well. Yeah.
I can't wait to be like, what was it like working with the sexy gremlin?
He's funny too. He makes fun of like even Gremlins 1 he made fun of. Like where he was doing a Q&A and he was like, yeah, I was talking and he's like, yeah, the movie's supposed to turn out differently. Like for example, like does anybody else think it's weird that my best friend is a 12-year-old boy? He goes, and it turns out that like the original script called for Billy to be that age as well.
Oh.
And it was supposed to be way more kiddie. And they were like, no, this is fucking terrifying.
Well, it's because it's Joe Dante behind it.
Yeah.
I think he kind of got his wish, Joe Dante, with a scary movie with kids with is it Small Soldiers? I always forget what the actual title of it is. I always call it Small Soldiers, which is
Small Soldiers is Small Soldiers.
That's what I always call it, like the wrong thing, like
Tiny Soldiers.
Toy Soldiers or some shit like that. But yeah, Small Soldiers.
That's a way different movie.
Toy Soldiers?
Yes.
What is that?
That's with Sean Austin. Did I say
Astin.
Astin, right? Which an entire all-boys school, like teenagers, gets taken over by terrorists. Like a private school.
What the fuck?
Yes. Right? And then
they join Al Qaeda.
No, no, but they have to. The terrorists just want their like leader freed or something, and it's real. It's not like Die Hard where they're trying to steal his money or something.
Yeah.
And the boys try to plan to one get information to the outside to all the police and everybody out there, but also like try to overthrow these terrorists that have taken. And it's like a whole weekend of like the terror and stuff.
Right.
It's a great movie. And it also has Wesley from Star Trek.
Oh,
Shut up, Wesley.
Will Wheaton?
Yeah, Will
Fuck
Wheaton.
that guy.
Yeah, he gets fucking spoiler alert, guys. He gets shot to death.
No way.
Yeah, dude, just like AK-47 just pumped through his body halfway through the movie on the front steps of the entire private school. Just like, pop, 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 pop.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Shit, I wish that was real. No, I'm just kidding.
It's just like, boom, 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 boom.
Damn, all right.
Go watch that movie. Everybody go watch that movie because, like, spoiler alert, yes, but, like, there's so much more. Will Gossett Jr. is in that movie. Or Louis Gossett Jr., the guy from all the Iron Eagles.
Cuba Gooding Jr.?
No, fool.
Snow Dogs?
No. No. That's not what I meant.
Meanwhile, in Underland.
No, I don't want to talk about it. We're almost there.
We're in they're in the prisons.
Yes.
And they're like, we need to get there or time's going to die.
Oh, that's right.
And shit's going to get fucked up. And
By the way, the main villain of the Toy Soldiers is also the Wishmaster.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
He's the main terrorist. Sorry, had to bring back Wishmaster.
In the weirdest Deus Ex Machina bullshit ever.
You like using that phrase, don't you?
But it's true. It's literally the movie was just like, oh, how are they going to get out? The plant lady goes, she ate my nose, and lets them out of their cages.
Yep.
What the fuck?
I know.
It's like, yeah, you work for a genocidal maniac, and that was the last straw.
I'm kind of checking out now.
Yeah. So they go back to the time place.
The queen goes back in time to the part of the tarts.
Yes. She sees what happens, and they were warned by time. She can't go back in time because if she sees herself, something bad will happen, is basically what he says.
You'll have a paradox.
You'll see your mom having sex with you and not your dad. So she goes in there. Alice is about to stop her. She looks in the room, and her former self sees her. And in the only really cool thing in this fucking movie, she turns to goddamn red crystal.
Yeah.
And this is insane. I was like, what?
So and then this, she turns into red crystal, and then the entire time-space continuum proceeds to turn into the inside of the red planet crate from Last Jedi.
Yes. But if you touch it, you turn into crystal.
I mean, I think it was going to happen anyway. I think it's like spreads like a virus.
Yes.
Like it wasn't like you could like get up on a tree to like not touch the ground. It's not like the floor is lava.
No. It's just it reaches everything. But
Yeah.
if it touches you at all, you turn into red crystal and you can't move.
But it will regardless.
Yes. So
The only thing that's not crystal is the sky.
yes. Actually, no. It turns to crystal. They show it in the space time continuum thing. It starts closing in on top of them in the
Yeah, but I
water.
think that's just growth. I don't think
Yeah.
you can't. The air doesn't turn into crystal, or
No.
else basically it'd just be one solid block.
That'd be funny. So
Just
you didn't miss much, but they get back to the time castle.
yes, they got back as this is all happening. They're like racing towards putting back the chronosphere into where it belongs, because apparently that will fix all.
Yes, that's what.
So basically, you're telling me that don't do that because that's horrible. But if you can race back in time fast enough, which it's time travel, I could literally snap my fingers and be there.
Yeah, but it's moving at the same speed they are. That's the problem.
For some reason.
Yes, it's just endless. But so everyone gets trapped in it. There's kind of a heartfelt, touchy moment where the Red Queen has gotten caught in it too, and the White Queen is carrying her crystallized body, but then she gets stuck in it as well. Alice is running, and she is almost inches away from where she needs to get to.
Of course.
But it's creeping up on her, and time is like, shit, you know what? My shit hasn't ticked its last tick, and he stops time temporarily for her to get far enough to drop the thing, but then she still gets caught by the crystals, and she's like literally like an inch away, and then
the chronosphere like sparks like the ball that the Terminator goes through.
yes, and she's butt naked. And
just immediately kills someone.
yeah. Your clothes.
You gotta see that big ball of light? The guy took my pants. Just walking around in a homeless man's junk ass pants.
You smell like piss.
Yeah. Kyle Reese, you stink like shit. That whole movie, you stink like shit. How did she sleep with you?
I love when he gets the star sunglasses. Is that in the third one?
That is the third one.
He goes to a gay bar.
Doc to the hat.
Yeah. Doc to the hand. So it sparks enough that it falls in. All of the red shit goes away.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is resolved. Congratulations. Everything's good.
I wrote, it makes a spark. Everything goes back to normal. That was pointless.
Yeah, no, really it was. There was no threat
That's
whatsoever.
my last note.
There is a heartfelt moment between the Red Queen and the White Queen where they hug and they like love each other, whatever. But this is the part I want.
There's a bud in this?
Oh, dude, I wish. The Cheshire Cat's butt. Cat asshole. No,
Cat smile.
she later goes on and she's talking to Time, and he's basically like, "Yeah, you really fucked up, you idiot."
Yeah.
And she's like, "I really learned a lot," and she gives him her dad's pocket watch, and he's like, "I can't bring him back to life," and she's like, "No, it's a gift." He's like, "Oh," and she says, this is the thing that I was talking about earlier that I wanted to save to the ending. She says something along the lines of like, "I thought that Time was an enemy. Like, I thought Time was a bad guy because you never seem to have enough of it." But she basically says like, "But
She does say time is the enemy.
yeah." And then she's like, "But
Time is a villain," she
yes,
says.
she said Time is a villain."
You're like, oh, God.
Yeah, but it's like what she ends up saying is like, "But I realize like the Time is our friend, and you need to use what you have, not what you could have."
Before he becomes a villain.
Yes, before basically, yeah. And he's basically reaffirming to everyone that like, no, the Time.
Time is like a good guy if you have a cool life and a villain if your life is shitty.
Yeah. Basically reaffirming to the audience, like, no, Time wasn't a bad guy. He's literally neutral. He doesn't do anything bad or good. This is just his job.
My wife.
My wife. Ricky Bobby.
Time is like Sacha Baron Cohen. He can either do no wrong or no right.
I was in Hugo, remember?
Remember. Not Borat, the other one.
Bruno? I've named him a traditional African name, OJ.
I hate that movie.
That movie's pretty funny.
No.
You don't like Bruno?
Get the hell out of here.
Oh, it's good. It's just as good as Borat.
No, get the hell. No, it is not.
It is.
It is definitely not.
It is.
Nah.
Just with no naked fucking wrestling where I could see two man's penises.
Yeah, that was unnecessary.
This is a weird scene, right?
Yeah. So Alice goes back to her real world. Everybody's like, "Thanks, bye."
Yeah, she's like, "Thanks for fucking our shit again."
Goes back to the real world, and I guess there's no consequences for sticking a needle in that orderly.
No, they're just like, whatever. Women are crazy.
Yeah. I don't want to go through that female hysteria.
So she shows back up to the signing thing. Her
Yep.
mom is getting ready to do it,
Yep.
and she's like, "No, I don't want to do it." And Alice is like, "You know what, Mom? Let's do it.
Let's sign the boat away. Who cares?
Who cares?
Yeah.
You know what?
It's
We
just
need
a boat.
We need to be happy with what we have."
We need to have a house over our head.
Yeah, and her mom's like, "No, fuck it and fuck you," to the guy.
Yeah.
And she's like, rips up the thing, and he's like, "Oh, you can't do that."
And so now they're going to live on the boat, I
Yep.
guess.
They proceed to live out every 60-something retired person's life and explore the world in a motorhome.
But then on the horizon, you see bing, 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 bong, bling.
all the Chinese people that they
Get
pissed
out!
off. Yeah.
Dun 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 dun.
And then also Captain Jack Sparrow's
It's
there.
just running like, ah!
I've got sand. And they're actually sailing on a thing of
Like
crabs.
next to the Hatter. The Hatter's like paddling behind him.
Thank God we didn't have to see a fucking Hatter dance, though.
Oh, God.
Also, you see Crispin Glover's corpse.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I forgot.
They had to explain how that happened.
Yeah.
Just stabbed through the heart.
My favorite Crispin Glover role is his in Hot Tub Time Machine, definitely.
Oh, hell yeah, with the one-armed guy.
When he finally loses his arm, it's just because a snowplow drove by and chopped it off.
It's so good.
Do you know what isn't good, though?
What?
This movie.
Damn right. So, would you recommend it?
No. God, no.
No, skip it. Skip it 100%.
If you like Alice in Wonderland, don't watch this.
If you like Alice in Wonderland, why are you listening to this show?
Yeah.
Because you're not our listener.
Don't. No, I mean the animated classic.
Oh, yeah. That's a great movie.
Yeah, don't watch this, though. Don't even watch the first one, either.
Don't even ride the ride.
Don't you fucking dare.
I knew you'd be upset.
Shit.
I don't mess with most Fantasyland.
You're an idiot then.
Nah, man.
Pinocchio's
I
great.
ain't got time for this shit.
The only one I don't fuck with is Peter Pan, 'cause the line's always too long.
Yeah, they're all too
No, they're
long
not.
for what they are.
Fucking
Where I'm like, these rides should never stop moving, and yet somehow there's a gigantic
the
line.
only two that ever have long lines, and one that has kind of a long line.
Alice has a long line.
Alice has a
Peter
long line.
has a
Peter
long line.
Pan, and Mr. Toad occasionally has a
Somehow.
longer line.
Why?
But Pinocchio and Snow White never do, and those are fucking great rides.
Sometimes. Summertime, don't touch it.
I love Pinocchio though.
Okay.
Mama! I
know
always
you
laugh.
do. It is pretty funny. That, and that like half that ride is just based on like Pleasure Town.
Yeah, and also it's the only attraction that has a swear in it. When the coachman says, "Get in here, you jackass!"
Oh. I thought it was going to be like, "Fuck you, Jiminy!"
Spread that ass for me, Pinocchio.
Yeah. You sure you didn't steal any cookies from the cookie jar? You could lie to me. I might like it.
Tell a lie. I'm wearing women's underwear.
Perfect.
That's from Shrek. Pinocchio's wearing a pink thong.
Ah, yes. So now there's still a person I haven't heard from. We've heard about her today, but we haven't heard what she thought. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what would Carly think.
So, she actually did not sit down and watch this with me.
At all?
A little bit. Because she saw it in the theaters.
Oh, no.
Yes, when it came out.
Okay.
Carly,
Why?
for the listeners at home...
Just likes to be tortured.
Apparently.
Yeah.
For for listeners at home who don't know this, Carly has 7 sisters, 2 of which currently right now are 10 and 12. So at the time
I
that
can't
this
talk about them.
no,
I gotta leave them alone.
Yeah, they're too young.
Yeah, it's not fair.
They were. So this came out in 2016.
17.
No, 16.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Damn it! I said it in the intro.
Yes. So they would have been 8 and 10 respectively. So she took them to go and see it.
Okay.
And she came back and was like, "What a waste of my fucking life," is what she said to me.
I mean, that's
yes,
fair.
She hated it. But her favorite thing was those fucking little tin pot people because she loved them.
Yeah,
she said they
'cause
were so
fun.
cute.
They were a lot of fun.
But yeah, hated it.
Okay.
I remember when I was watching it, she was like, "Oh, this movie. I took Haley and Emily to see this." And then she was like, "It fucking sucks." I was like, damn.
Yep. It does. So, we thought it sucked. She thought it sucked. But there's some people that thought it was amazing. We asked those people, give me 5. I don't have a theme song for this one.
Give me 5.
Give me some 5.
I got 5 on
Oh,
it.
shit. It's good. But the real slow one.
I got 5 on
Boom,
it.
boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom.
Bong. I need to go see that movie again. Is that your impression of him as like a...
No, of her when she's doing that weird laugh.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck that movie. I know you love it.
Oh, damn.
I don't explain the plot. I'll leave it up to you.
Maybe you're just an idiot. Anyway, give me these 5s.
Okay. This one's written by Ali Suave 007.
Suave.
So you know it's gonna be good.
Ali Suave.
An exciting race against time Wonderland chapter. In this follow-up to Disney's live-action Alice in Wonderland, Alice returns to the topsy-turvy Wonderland and travels back in time in order to save the Mad Hatter, who is falling into a state of despair because of him missing his family. Man, he said what we took an hour and a half to say.
I know.
The plot is fast-paced from start to finish. Fair. And you know what? I will
Yeah.
say, it feels rushed.
Yes, it is fast-paced.
Okay. and gives off a very exciting race against time story where Alice... Is that a joke, buddy? Where Alice goes back in time to learn the truth of Mad Hatter's missing family and the misdeeds of the notorious Queen of Hearts. You'll be glued to the screen in this wild ride.
I was glued to my phone screen.
The CGI effects were beautifully done. Cast of characters were delightful, and music was nostalgic.
To what?
2014?
This movie?
There are also some touching elements of family, friendship, and courage, and the natural course of time. Overall, it's an adventurous and entertaining piece of work from Disney. One of their best live-action films. Grade A. That one wasn't very funny, buddy.
No, I know. It was hard to find any good ones.
Okay. I'm just acknowledging. Is this one going to be better?
I can't remember.
Okay. This one's written by Prof. Unicorn. I'm Professor Unicorn.
This one's pretty good.
I'm feeling horny.
Professor Unicorn, we have to ask you to leave the university.
But I have tenure! Possibly the worst bit we've ever done. So, he writes in 2016... Ignore the clueless critics. This is a wonderful movie. Ignore the Hollywood politics and clueless critics. This is an excellent, enjoyable movie. One of the best of the year. It has good, clean humor, outstanding special effects, excellent acting, and the best cinematography and multiple interesting plot lines that are all brought together nicely at the end. Visually, the film is amazing. There is great deal of fascinating detail and multi-layered beauty in the environments that were created for this film. It is well worth seeing more than once. It is better than Avatar visually. It's not wrong.
It looks like something Avatar took a shit. Like, here it is.
The acting is top-notch. Alice is superb. The humor is wonderful in that it is truly funny without being crude, foul, or stupid, as are so many movies being released. I highly recommend this film.
I didn't laugh once.
Nope.
In this movie.
Nope.
That's why I chose this one. And the other one, too, because they're like, the humor is great. It's like, I did not chuckle.
I thought it was hilarious when somebody was like, female hysteria.
Yeah, and the part where Sacha Baron Cohen fell.
That was great. Yo, you laughed twice.
That's 10 minutes in.
The guy dying.
Oh. Those are literally 5 minutes apart from each other.
Stupid me-shaped hallway. They're arguably in the same scene.
Hey, here's the thing for people writing this review. Go look at the director. It wasn't Tim Burton, so you don't have to suck this movie's dick.
Yeah, right. Yeah, only Hollywood does.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry. He made Dumbo and it fucking sucked.
Do you want to know what the director also did?
I looked this up earlier and I can't remember.
Okay.
But yes.
So, speaking of sucking the dick of somebody.
Oh, no.
It's not actually, that's not a gay joke. I just meant, like, in retrospect, you're like, oh, okay, he's either paid some dues or he's got some dues to pay, right? So basically, the director is James Bobin, right? And James Bobin has also made both Muppet movies that Disney did.
That's right.
Right?
That's the one.
He also, though, like, and this is where it's like, well, dude, why wasn't this funny? Is that he wrote Flight of the Conchords.
No, wait. I was gonna say I know when you said the Muppets, I was like, that was a Flight of the Conchords guy.
Mm-hmm. He also directed some Flight of the Conchords, right? So that's the attachment there. But here it is. He directed the Ali G show.
Oh. So I wonder if they had Sacha Baron Cohen attached to this, and then he brought him in.
Yeah, it's that kind of thing that, like, one brought the other one in. One or the other.
Yeah, one or the other did.
Yeah, where it's like, that's my guy, you know? So, yeah, there you go. There's your, like, 1 degree of separation.
That is weird.
Yeah.
This guy is so capable of making something better.
Yes.
Like, the Muppets movie's fucking
that's on, like,
great.
Dues. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The second Muppet movie is not as good as the first one, but is still pretty solid at points. It's got the we're getting a sequel song. You and I have gushed about that song before.
And that's it. As soon as that it's like as soon as the lights and the cameras roll out of that sequel song, and they're like, oh, okay, all right. So how do we do this? It's like nobody figured it out past that.
Yeah, but that Russian Kermit's funny as fuck. I am Kermit the Frog.
Yeah.
Well, that was 2016's Alice Through the Looking Glass.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, smash that like button.
Every time. It gets me every single time.
That's why I do it at this point.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah.
Smash that motherfucking like button. Life button.
Yeah, smash that life button.
Unplug him.
Whatever life gets you. So, yeah, go ahead and rate, review, subscribe, all those nice things. But join us this Friday for The Running Man, like we mentioned, top of the hour, or 2 hours at this point. And then also make sure you buy those T-shirts. We got a new T-shirt coming up.
Yeah.
It's already actually out, so I don't want to... It's kind of a spoiler. Actually, nope, can't say it yet, because, like, the people... at the live show are the first person to know about the new movies that come out. So I can't say it. But if you'd like a hint, go ahead and check out the newest T-shirt.
Yes.
On the tpublic.com/stores/bombs-away-show.
And I know you'll be able to see what we're going to do outside of the show, but come to the show because I am so fucking hyped for June's live show.
You're making the trailer.
I am making the trailer.
I'm excited to see that.
It's going to be rad.
Right? So that trailer will also be up eventually on all our social media, which you can follow at Bombs Away Show, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You know how it goes.
Yep.
Okay? So that just about does it for us. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing.
Yes.
Super important.
Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. Please share this episode. Please share any episode, your favorite episode. This is probably not your favorite episode.
It's like, I really like that movie.
Yeah. So please share. Thank you for listening. I'm Jonathan.
I'm Tyler.
And
typical woman is staring.
This has been a production of Big Bulb Entertainment, executive produced by Jonathan Young. For more media and information, visit us at www.bigbulbentertainment.com. Big Bulb, what's your bright idea?